My husband didn't tell me he was texting this woman for months. Now he's saying I'm being ridiculous. We live off of a busy road and few months ago over the summer there was a big commotion outside our house. We go outside and there was a older man, 50s, 60s, and a young woman, 20s, who had just gotten into an accident. The man has rear-ended her as she was slowing due to the car in front of her turning. The man had gotten out of his car and was screaming at her. She was clearly really upset. My husband, 37, ran outside and confronted the man. We brought her inside and let her stay there until services came. After I'll call her Jessica here, left, that was the last I saw or heard of her. My husband never mentioned her again. He never mentioned texting or calling her. Until my younger son mentioned something about seeing Jessica that day at the park. When I asked my husband about it, he said yeah, they had run into each other at the park and they had just chatted for a few minutes. This was about 4 weeks ago. Last night, my husband was in the shower and a text message from Jessica popped up. I opened it and saw that they had been texting for months, literally since the day the accident had happened. None of the messages are outright bad. The first messages are him texting her to check on how she was feeling, her saying she was okay, thanking him, etc. Then he asks her more about her personal life, if she likes her job, family, etc. The most nefarious out of any of them was when he was texting her one day and she said it was her birthday and she was going out with her friends. There was one point where he said, "Don't make too many bad choices," and she replied that she generally didn't. He said he could see her having a wild side, and eventually the conversation reached the fact that she was a virgin. Attached screenshot. After this conversation she switches it to something else. This convo happened a few weeks ago. I confronted my husband. He said he didn't see why it was a big deal and that he hadn't said anything wrong. He had began texting her to make sure she was doing okay and then they began a friendship. He said he didn't know he had to tell me every time he made a friend. I tried to explain to him that first of all it's not appropriate for a married man with children to be talking about 23-year-old's virginity. He said it was only strange if I was accusing him of something and passed that it was just a conversation between friends. I told him that it was completely suspicious that this was a woman who had come to our home. Why wouldn't he mention that he was continuing to be in contact with her? He said he didn't see the big deal and I was just looking for things to be mad at since I didn't find anything bad enough in his messages. This is the first time I've ever gone through his phone in 12 years of marriage, and it was because that message popped up. He thinks I'm being completely ridiculous and has now went and woken up both of our boys so he can take them out of the house. No, he is being manipulative and this is totally inappropriate. He hid this from you. My husband and I met young woman through a similar interaction, and he's a helpful, caring guy, so he also immediately jumped into savior mode. The woman was upset and we spent some time chatting with her and making sure she was okay. Like your husband, mine was worried about the woman afterwards, and wanted to check up on her. But what he did was say to me, "I'm gonna text her to make sure she got home okay. Can I add you to the text chain so she doesn't think I'm a creep?" That's the normal, non-cheater pants way to handle this. Your husband's behavior is super sus. My boyfriend is constantly making racist jokes about me and my family. I am a Hispanic female while my boyfriend is half white and half Hispanic. He recently has started making jokes about me and my family being illegal and that we should go back to our country and that if he became president he would kill everyone in Mexico, or says things like really Mexicans shouldn't get papers for being born here because we are still illegal. When I confront him about it he says I'm being sensitive and can't take a joke because he's half Hispanic, so I shouldn't be taking offense. Am I just being sensitive? These are not jokes. They are highly offensive things to say and they are not funny. Dump this guy immediately, you deserve better. My nieces and nephew's dad is Hispanic, mom is white. He is similar to your BF. It really messed with all the kids' heads. It breaks my heart. Be careful on what kind of person you want to be with. This behavior probably won't go away. We're not talking about a possible general environment here. His shit's directly targeted at you. I think you need a new boyfriend. He's being a racist asshole. You deserve better. If was me in that situation I'd dump him. There is not one single thing that you posted that is funny or joke material. Not one. You are not being sensitive. He is making racist comments that he is trying to thinly veil behind a joke. That's not a joke. I think he, 19 male, wants custody so he can see me, 18 female. For context, the child in question is a 7-month-old hamster. I know that sounds absolutely absurd, but this is getting really annoying now. I broke up with my ex a week ago and it was very one-sided. We were together for 1 year off and on but were friends for longer. When we were still together, he had got me a hamster out of the blue. He literally gave me a hamster without any supplies or warning. I've had to buy everything for her so far, so I just rationalized that she was mine. This was supported by the fact that he would ignore her completely when we would hang at my place and her permanent home was my room. To be honest, if it was up to me, I would not have a hamster at my grown age, but now that it has been a good few months I'm a little attached. He blew up my phone demanding to speak to me and told me that he wanted shared custody of the hamster. This was hilarious to me and I thought he was joking, but this man was dead ass. His sudden interest was so suspicious to me and I think he is trying to weasel his way back into my life. He was talking about a weekly switch? I don't want to see him weekly loudly crying. I know within my soul that this is bullshit because he doesn't even know her name. She's called Gary and he's never said her name correctly once. His only leg to stand on is the fact that he bought her, but like I've said, I bought everything else. The thing with hamster supplies is the fact that the food alone costs 3x more than the hamster itself. I just want him off my back. Our relationship wasn't good. And to be so honest, I don't think he is above hurting her while she's in his custody. He's also being vile and making posts about me and Gary. I've offered to literally pay him the difference, but he's being disproportionately stubborn. Any advice would be appreciated. I genuinely don't know if I'm being unreasonable. Too long did not read. My ex wants to share custody over a hamster he doesn't care about. I think this is because he can't let me go. Any advice would be appreciated. Repeat after me. No. Block him and move on. Don't communicate with him, period. Call the police if he approaches you. Yell people around you of his behavior as well. Honestly, just block and move on. Have a happy life with Gary. Also, I love that she's called Gary. What is he going to do? Sue you? Christ, stop even entertaining him. Block him. His number, his social medias, his effing email if you have that. Ridiculous. No one would expect you to share custody of a hamster. Block him. The hamster was a gift. Ignore him. My gut feeling was right, sad face. So my 22, GF, 21, for 3 years, went traveling with her friend. Then suddenly started acting different. I called her and confronted tonight, and damn too bad my gut feeling was right. She cheated on me, sad face. You are young. This too shall pass. The best lesson is trust your gut, which it sounds like you already know. Dude. She belongs to the street. You have broken up with her, right? No. What happened, bro? I'm sorry you're going through this. You are still young, and it's gonna hurt for a bit. But don't let this ruin future relationships. Stay true to yourself. Trust your gut if you feel something is off. You'll find someone later down the road who will love you and appreciate you for who you are. Hugs. I'm so sorry this happened to you. My son went through this with his ex-GF of 2 years at around your age. He was devastated and hasn't been in a serious relationship yet since, he's 27 now. Take some time to heal and take good care of yourself and then start dating again. Not all girls are assholes who cheat and you'll find the right one. Always trust your gut.